Bro, the fact that this nigga was able to go on tour and continue to live life like nothing happened after what he did is crazy. I'm back to another reaction video, you know what I'm saying? On today's reaction video, we got the end of D4VD, or as I like to call him, fucking DVD. Video by this nigga Xavier. I'm pretty sure most of y'all already know him already. Yeah, let's get right into this shit, man.
So David had a problem. This upcoming trial is not looking good for him. For starters, the police have...
This nigga had more than a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? This nigga had mental issues, bro.
40 terabytes of evidence against him. Among that evidence, prosecutors say David had a significant amount of, listen closely, youth porn on his phone. If you don't know what that means.
Yo, nah, this nigga had, bro, this nigga's sick. Yeah, nah, he's sick, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is mental illness at its finest form. Cause how could you, bro, how can you be a lawyer and take this case? You know what I'm saying? I would not. You're putting your reputation on the line, your whole career. Why would you defend this nigga?
Look in the comments. And this is why I say David had a problem, because forget the trial for a second. The stuff that David had on his phone can already put him in jail for decades. And I don't know how David's lawyer can swing that. The prosecutor said, we found it on David's phone. So at that point, there's not much speculation you could do there. David had this stuff on his phone. So David's lawyer is probably gonna look at David and be like, look, I mean, I'm gonna try to get you off the charge, but that other stuff ain't looking good. Because remember, David's got another charge for being with someone of an age that he had no business being with someone that. If you didn't know Celeste Rivas' age, then look in the comments.
Ooh,
so
there's this nigga is not getting, bro might just get the death penalty, bro. This is crazy. And I'm starting to wonder if she was his only victim, because from what I had read at the fucking messages and shit, it said that they started fighting or arguing over him talking to other girls while he was on tour and shit. So this nigga most definitely had other victims, bro. No cap.
So much evidence that he was with her. David's lawyer probably finna look at David and be like, bro, what you want me to do about that? You might have to take that charge to the chin, and that ain't no light charge. So David's probably realizing right here in this picture what I want you to understand in this video, that even without the charge, David could still face decades upon decades in prison just off all the stuff involving him and the youth stuff.
Yeah, nah, this is bad, bro. This is fucking bad. Like, it's beyond fucked. You know what I'm saying? It would be better for him if he got the death penalty, because the kind of treatment this nigga would get in prison, bro, is terrible. Like, he would be better off with the death penalty, honestly. The way they treat niggas who indulge in these kind of activities, you know what I'm saying? And he's famous. Oh yeah, nah. He's beyond cooked, bro. That nigga's deep fried.
That again, police have a lot of evidence for. But here's where things start to get wicked, because one of the most important pieces of this case actually might be people who are witnesses to this event. And when I say witnesses, I mean witnesses in any capacity. That's going to make sense in a moment. You see, David's got managers, many people who work for him that might have known about his relationship with Celeste. That's a problem for them. In fact, David's manager came out and said a while back, he said, look, I don't know nothing about this. All right, y'all gotta leave me alone on the internet. Y'all be making stuff up. There's an email of me out there, someone saying that I knew about David's relationship. That's cap. Well, that email got leaked. So it says, there's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with the disappearance of Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are very worried. This is somebody sending this to David's manager. Listen to this next part closely. Allegedly, apparently, David's manager took a screenshot of this, sent it to David. David then sent this picture to one of Celeste's friends. The next day, Celeste gets sent home. Now, this is speculation, but what?
Why is he having access to multiple, like, and that right there is the problem, bro. This nigga had issues. Because it wasn't just one person. At no point was this nigga ever possibly planning to stop. He was just going to keep going, bro.
What makes sense in the situation is somebody sends this to David's manager. David's manager goes, hey, yo, rushes over to David and says, yo, what is this? You got to take that girl and send her home. David sends the message to one of Celeste's friends saying, look, why y'all snitching? Manager probably said, I don't care about snitch here. I don't care about snitch there. This is going to jeopardize your career, David. It's going to mess with my money too. So send that girl home. David probably sent her home. Now remember, I said David sent this screenshot, this email to one of Celeste's friends. So that's probably the person that leaked this out saying, oh, David's manager over here capping, David's manager lying, like he never got an email. Well, I have the screenshot of the email, so I'm gonna send it out. Police probably looked at this email. They said, would you look at that? David's manager most likely knew about David's situation with Celeste. That's illegal, but more importantly, that's a witness to the events. So they can go over to David's manager and get information from him. How do you get information from somebody? You say, hey, look, I got you doing something illegal over here. Why don't you tell me everything you know, or you go to jail? Now, nobody knows exactly what David's manager knows, except most likely the police. But let me mention this next part to you. The day of Celeste getting, David had an album release party. It was the day of or the next day. So his managers were in his house. And remember, police say that David lured...
Bro, the fact that this nigga was able to go on tour and continue to live life like nothing happened after what he did is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that, I don't know, bro, this shit, the whole shit is just weird to me. I don't know. How the fuck do you do something so crazy, so diabolical, and then pretend to just live life normal? Like, you just doing on tours and shit, and like, you just, like, he really genuinely believed he was gonna get away with this shit.
Celeste to his house saying, hey, come over, I need to talk to you about something. So she was around his house, the managers were around his house, meaning managers probably were there while Celeste was there. That doesn't mean they saw her getting, but it means they might have information. And if David's managers have any information, you know they giving it to police ASAP. They finna snitch. They don't want to be associated with David at all at this point, I'm sure. On top of all of this, yes, there's more. They wiretapped David, meaning they recorded David while he's probably snitching on himself. If it's in the evidence, that means it's relevant to the case. He was saying something that they got him. Ooh, he's in trouble. And this isn't all the evidence. This is just basically a sprinkle of what the prosecutors were giving out. But let me be clear that the prosecutors are supposed to big up themselves. They're supposed to make it look like David has no chance. And from what they said, I mean, it really looks like David has no chance. But I've seen prosecutors screw up the easiest looking cases. Like, even though their evidence seems super solid, the defense attorney just flips it on them, and then the prosecutors sit there looking stuck. For instance, they can have so much evidence, the internet can have so much evidence about David being with Celeste. Like, come on, we know like he must have been with Celeste, but all David's attorney has to say is like, you got the text of them saying that they were together, or was that like his little sister? I mean, if you look at all these pictures and all this evidence, it could just be like a big bro talking to his little sis. Like, that was his huge fan. Like, he had love for her, just not in that way. The prosecutors could be like, no, here's David saying, I love you. We got a text of him saying, I love you. The defense attorney would be like, yeah, he said, I love you to his little sister too. Like, what that mean? So it is still going to come down to how skilled David's attorney is and how skilled the prosecutor is. But with the evidence involved, let's just say it looks like the prosecutor has an AK and
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If this nigga beats this case, I'm gonna move out this country. Because that shit don't make no fucking sense, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. If this nigga beat this case, bro, I'm moving out this fucking country. No bullshit.
and David's attorney has a pistol. Now, as for how Celeste was, she was poked with something really sharp, a sharp object, 2 times. And really, we don't need to go into detail. That's all that really needs to be said about that.
Bro, from what I read from the fucking news on that shit, bro, this nigga invited her over from the details, right? He then poked her, you know what I'm saying? And then she passed, you know what I'm saying? And then this motherfucker had ordered 2 fucking chainsaws, bro. He had ordered 2 chainsaws. And then started doing the unthinkable and shit, you know what I'm saying? And bro really tried. He really tried to cover up the evidence by also buying, you know what I'm saying? Well, I forgot what they call that shit, but it's like a cage for burning shit on Amazon. This nigga is sick.
That. I want to go to Celeste's parents real quick. There have been people that have come out and said that charges should be brought against Celeste's parents. But what I do want to say is people genuinely have no idea what Celeste's parents' role was in this situation. From all I've researched about this case, it's honestly my opinion that Celeste's parents just couldn't control her. I mean, think about how you might have been to your parents growing up. Think about how young kids are like to their parents all the time. So many people are saying that Celeste's parents should have done more. I want to agree with that. I do, but it truly depends on the situation. This isn't to defend Celeste's parents because I genuinely don't know what they might have known. Why I'm thinking about this is because I try to put myself in their shoes and think, what can you do in this situation for real, for real? Like, if your daughter's like, all right, I'm gone and I'm not coming back. Like, I can't like handcuff her to the bed. Like, I could ground her, I guess, but when she goes to school, she's gonna leave, like Celeste actually did. Like,
yeah, no, that's facts. They got their own mind, they got their own free will, and they're gonna rebel 90% of the time.
Supposed to go to school, and then she actually just went to David's place. All right, so it's been a while. So what I can do is file a police report. The parents filed a police report. What are the police going to say to you? Oh yeah, kids go missing all the time. I mean, yeah, we're going to look. And then police never actually look. So you can call your kid, they don't pick up. I mean, what can you like do? You don't know David's address, you don't know where he lives. Like, it's tough. Maybe this email was from Celeste's family and friends to the manager as their way to get Celeste back, which worked until Celeste left again. I say this for people who may lose their kids to drugs or may lose their kids to them running away.
Hey man, advice for any parents out there, bro. Nigga, start putting trackers in your kids' shit, bro. I'm talking about like maybe their shoes, you know what I'm saying? Their fucking backpacks. Start putting trackers on your kids, man. We have to protect our children because this shit is getting crazy, man.
Away. You know, there's only so much you can do before you actually just feel powerless. Again, I don't know what Celeste's parents did. They could have actually just did nothing and not cared. But on the chance that they cared and did everything in their power to get their daughter back, I say, go easy on the they should be arrested stuff, you know. And why I say that especially is because we gotta focus on one dude. A lot of people, in my opinion, for cases like this, get lost in the sauce. It's understandable because it's an infuriating situation. You get mad. Everybody who might have a hand in this, you want to take down. I feel it. But right now, and it seems police are thinking the same thing. Charges are not going to be brought up against the parents. They're not even going to look into the parents for now. They've got their eyes and their targets locked on to this man. And again, with all the evidence and charges that seem to be against him, I think it's going to be tough for the prosecutors to fumble this one. And Dave.
Yeah, nah, bro, you deep fried, bro. Oh no. This shit is crazy, man. I never like I was never even a fan of the dude. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest, I genuinely thought bro was gay. Like I you know what I'm saying? I really thought bro was gay. I didn't know he was moving like this. This shit is crazy. But anyways, that wraps it up for the video. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.